Remember that they're changing my voice? I'm going to explain the mark of the beast to you in a nutshell. The mark of the beast actually has to do with Set, okay? And Set is worshipped as Baal in the Middle East later on because he's an African idea. And then at some point, the Greeks worship him as Zeus and the Romans worship him as Jupiter. However, listen very closely, very carefully, and write this down. Set, in a sense, first and foremost, after Africa, is Pan, whose name means all for all the Greco-Roman deities. Set is a deity of foreigners, but it's more than just foreign to Egypt. It's foreign to the Royal African Falcon martial art order, because Ra is God, the main deity of Egypt, and Joseph married Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, the high priest of Ra, and God didn't punish him for it. And this is key. This is very key. Genesis 41:45. Okay, so Ra is the main god of Egypt. Okay, when we put it in terms of Egypt, all of a sudden it's easy to understand. We start putting it in terms of other things, it gets confusing. Okay, Ra is the idea of God. That's what the Egyptians called God. His son is Horus. It gets confusing because there's also myths where Horus is the son of Osiris instead. Well, let's just keep it simple. Ra is God, Horus is his son, the top martial artist, the natural alpha that's set apart to lead all of humanity. Set gets jealous, right? So he's a deity of confusion, rape by deception, mass rape, jealousy, storms. He has different forms, just like Zeus, okay? And he represents everybody who doesn't obey God through Horus. Therefore, the Jews who spent hundreds of years in Egypt, and even after that, maintained trade routes with Egypt and so on and so forth, okay, they knew that religion was described this way before the Torah. Before Abraham, I am. Before the Torah is an explanation of righteousness and justice on a divine level that's accepted, right? God is called the Ancient of Days. It predates the Torah, okay? You see, Noah was chosen before the Torah, and he has 3 children, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And Ham begot Cush, who founded Horus's cult center, okay? So Ham begot Cush, in a sense, Horus, because the king of Cush is like the embodiment of the people. And Cush begot Nimrod, who is like a precise expression of Horus. And in a sense, that's me. Now, there's a lot of racists who say Nimrod is evil. I have videos about this. It's a story for another day, okay? He's not evil. He's a mighty lawyer. He's a mighty warrior, not a lawyer. Not a frickin' shark. My goodness. He's a mighty warrior before the Lord, okay? And the arrogant can't stand in the presence of the Lord. The exception is the devil. But Nimrod is not the devil. Okay? The Bible does not say he's the devil. In fact, when he founded Babylon, he made Babylon great. So this is sort of how you can understand why the idea of Horus in its true form is the African martial art alpha of all of humanity. Okay? These pictures here are examples of different forms of Set. Set is a deity of foreigners, which includes the foreign worship of him under Jupiter in Rome, Zeus in Greece, Baal in the Middle East, what have you, okay? And then all the pagan deities, all the ideas that are adverse to Horus, because if you don't know, whoever doesn't gather with me scatters, right? Those who do not obey God through me are adverse immediately. You see what I'm saying? So Satan means adversary, and Pan means all for all the Greco-Roman deities who in a sense are variations of all the pagan deities on the planet. Okay, with the exception of Ra and Horus that aren't really pagan deities. They're pagans trying to define God. So the word for God in Egypt is Ra. The word for God in Arabic, for example, would be Allah to the Muslims, right? So therefore, okay, the word for Horus is the top martial artist, son of God, who comes from Africa, and Royal African Falcon martial artist. That's what they're trying to explain. Now, if a martial artist goes beyond the Jews, and their own Bible says the kingdom of heaven will be taken away from them and given to one who performs it the works. In Proverbs it says, a prudent son will rule over a disgraceful son and things to this effect, right? Will rule over his master and so on and so forth, but no one was ever my master, but you get the idea, okay? Then it is obvious that the mark of the beast is the mark of Set, okay? Satan is said to be the god of the world. Set is a play on words for seat, okay? Set is a word with Isis, whose name is also said to mean seat, okay? And the word seed and seat are connected. So it's humanity's number because they've been breeding outside of the divine order and they've taken on various shapes. Okay? You see here the devil shaped as a martial arts. Set is a deity of brute force. Horse is a deity of moving fast and outmaneuvering and striking. That's part of why they've changed my images and my pictures, because they know that I'm a surgical striking martial artist, right?